my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be like leaking my eye. I don't know why. I think it's like seasonal allergies or something like that, but like one of my eyes just keeps like watering. But anyways, if you get to the end of this video and liked it and didn't find anything I said offensive, good luck with that. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button. I've been wanting to do this for a while and I was trying to figure out the formatting and the setup and just finding time. So as you can tell from the title, I want to talk about some book reviews of people who were just wrong, okay? No. I wanted to pick some books that I know I really enjoy, and I tried to choose ones that aren't generally hyped up when you go into the bookstore, like staying away from the masses, or the Les Bardugos, just because I feel like a lot of those books people especially on Goodreads, because I am using Goodreads for this. People enjoy going to those pages to hate on it because it's a hype book, right? It's the same reason no, it's not the same reason. I hate Justin Bieber, genuinely. I don't like his music and his person, but there's people that will just genuinely go at something that's popular and start to hate it. It's just a thing we love to do as human beings. And I feel like those books fall under those same traps. I also know there's a lot of accounts on Goodreads, because apparently Goodreads just doesn't monitor their site or their users or anything like that. There are people that just go to pages that aren't even big books, but they flood them with bad reviews. And you can look at just their average rating on their profiles, and like their average rating is like 1.32. And you're like, okay, you're picking the wrong books to read then. You don't know what you want to read. Or you just genuinely like trashing books. So I tried to steer away from those super, super obscure ones as well as those super hyped ones. And I picked 5 that I feel like are ones that I have genuinely heard people have different opinions on than me, but I also am like hardcore for these books. So, I'm going to try not be too rude. I'm going to be real though. It's probably going to come off as rude in some of these videos. I'm also not going to I'm not going to put the review on the screen or whatever. I'll just read it out to you. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want people to like go and attack them. Everyone, you have your own opinions. That's fine. As long as you've read the book with all those prefaces. I have 5 books that I wanted to talk about that I freaking adore. They're solid 5 stars for me for a plethora of reasons. I think I've also reread quite a few of these a couple times, and I stan most of these authors as well. So this should be interesting. I'm going to pick 1 or 2 for each book, and we'll see how long this video runs. It also just happens to be that I think all of the books that I picked have like a 4-star or above average rating on Goodreads, and they have a decent amount of actual reviews. So my brain is also like, ha, you're wrong. Even though liking and loving books are subjective most of the time. Sometimes people rate things or like review things and genuinely I'm like, no, you're actually wrong. But I'm gonna try and be open-minded as possible. Oh, I also stayed away from reviews that have like 400 memes and GIFs in them along with their essay length, because legitimately I don't have time or patience for that. We need to like, there are reviews where I've literally had to scroll for like 2 minutes to jump over them, and there's 500 memes in them, okay? Calm yourselves. So first off, I wanted to do A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, because I've gotten a bunch of people, right there, to read this book pretty recently, and it actually dethroned my original favorite series that had been my favorite for like 10 years, the Outlander series, which is one that has, it's just, again, there's a mass train around Diana Gabaldon stuff, so I avoided that one. But Deanna Raybourn's actually like kind of a relatively like smaller author, and I feel like a lot of people have owned these books, but maybe not a lot of people have actually read them. Or I hear from a lot of people that they read her Lady of Julia series, but they haven't gotten to this one. So A Curious Beginning. So just for context, actually, A Curious Beginning has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.97 stars. I give it 5 stars. And it has almost 16,000 ratings and almost 3,000 reviews. It's Victorian England, sassy, sarcastic, a main female character, a lot of tension, slow bird romance. And actually, I think everyone that I've gotten to read it has actually really, really enjoyed it, which I love hearing. They may have just said that because I'm so intense about it. I don't know. Could be it. Okay, so the review I found for this one, actually, it angers me quite a bit. I decided to use this one just because, yeah, okay. So, received an ARC from Goodreads, which I've been very grateful for. Good, at least you acknowledge that. But alas, this was a DNF for me at page 104. And they read 104 pages and felt that they should put a rating on Goodreads. I have to find the review, but I remember years and years ago, I found one on the Book Thief, and someone had put a 1-star rating, and I'm still mind-boggled at anyone who doesn't like the Book Thief. But they literally put some comment like, read the first chapter, hated it, and 1-starred it. You read the first chapter? Oh my god. No. Okay, do you have like a general rule of thumb for how much of a book you have to read, even if you DNF it, for you to actually put a rating, not a review, a rating on Goodreads? One thing to say, like, DNF'd at page whatever, but to actually say, I read maybe a quarter of this book and bailed on it, so here's my rating that's going to apply to the full book. I have big issue with that, actually, in addition to people rating books they haven't read. But I feel like you should at least have read at least half of the book in order to put a rating on Goodreads. Insufferable heroine. Excuse me? Another round of the I'm not like these other women. Okay, that's literally the only reason I enjoy reading historical fiction set in the Victorian era, is because we start getting those characters who are not like the pushover dainty women. Also, I feel like these I'm not like other women things are good and empowering to women, because this is the target reading audience of these books. Which is particularly insufferable in books set in the Victorian age. No, I hardcore disagree with you on that one. The writing of... Also, why would you even request this arc? It literally states in the summary that she's like this. So if you're not down for that, why would you read that? Okay, the writing of this blithe woman who doesn't care about the social norms because they are independent women with fortunes, or whatever, is exhausting. It actually specifies she doesn't have a fortune in the very beginning, that she basically just scrapes by on a project. She sells something, she uses that money to fund her next project, that she's not well off. It's continuously repeated, so no, that's wrong. But Veronica's particularly bad, somehow making the stays in her corset available as knives. Yeah, which means that she's got some pretty curved knives. Okay. The mystery at the beginning was uninteresting. At the beginning, there's like an attempted kidnapping. I don't know how that would be uninteresting. And then someone else literally gets murdered immediately after. I don't know what you seem qualify as interesting. Okay. And the trope of I have a secret but I can't possibly tell you, not even in this like 6-hour trip to London with only us in the carriage. Oh no, I have been murdered, is just tired. I love the Lady Julia books. I don't know what happened here. Again, it specifies in there why he didn't tell her a lot of the information, because it wasn't his to tell, and it was a safety issue. It had nothing to do with time constraints. So I don't know what book this person read, what 104 pages this person read. I love the Lady Julia books. I don't know what happened here. I've actually read the first 2 Lady Julia books, and of all of the things, I don't hate them. They're just not as good as the Veronica Mars. I think I said that in a video, that they were like they were the beta Veronica not Veronica Mars. It's the beta Veronica Speedwell series. It struggles its most with the mystery. They're very bare bones basic. The characters are quite flat compared to Veronica Speedwell. So I don't know what this person is talking about. Okay. Well, yes, whoever you lady from 2015 are wrong. I also don't think I've ever read a review for Veronica Speedwell that doesn't include any commentary on the romance. Because her and Stoker start right away. Like, right away. Okay, then I wanted to do one that I know kind of like controversially, because Minty McGinnis seems to be one of those authors that writers will like auto buy everything she has, or basically is prepared to buy. That's me. Or they detest everything she writes and will never touch her stuff. I am on the beginning of that, of I love what she writes. It's always weird. I also know sometimes she brings up a lot of issues, such as A Madness So Discreet. If you haven't read it before, it has incest and rape, and murder, and they're in an insane asylum, and there is also pedophilia as well. It's an average rating on Goodreads of 3.79. I think that's the lowest of any of these books. It has 7,500 ratings and a little over 1,500 reviews. So again, it's got a pretty decent review amount. Our main character has a very difficult upbringing socially. Though her father is a trusted politician in the time period, he is not a good person. And it starts off when she is pregnant in, I don't know what they called them, but when unwed women in wedlock, the parents kind of gave them to, like, I don't know, churches and all that stuff to, like, deal with it, to hide them while they were pregnant until they came back. And then the parents suddenly take them in as, oh, this is my new child instead of grandchild, right? So that's the sort of situation it in. I literally did a double take when I read this, because boy, like, I don't know if this person read an arc of it, or just never read the summary of the book, because it's quite upfront that it's what she's thinking it's wrong. This feels like the second version of Jacoby. What? I'm literally in the middle of rereading Jacoby, and other than being sort of mysteries set in the United States in, like, this kind of time period, there is no correlation whatsoever to it. None. And I mean, there are 20 billion other books that you could be like set in the United States in this time period with some mystery elements to it. I don't know what this person read. No, it has nothing, no. Meaning there's this lost girl, this intelligent, cheeky detective, this pointless and dull case, and a weird atmosphere above it all. Cheeky detective? No, not really. That's removing a lot of context and skewing things quite drastically. I hope they read an arc. The only huge difference is there's no fantasy elements in it. That is not the only huge difference. This book is full of trigger warnings, and it is all about getting a pedophile governor ousted for the things he's done. That is nothing related to the Jacoby series. What series did she... Is there another series named Jacoby or something like that? Other than the William Ritter. What is this person talking about? No werewolves, no magic. No, I don't know why you thought you were getting that. I guess this is why I like Jacoby slightly better. Stop comparing it to another historical fiction that is literally the only correlation to it. You don't get to read The Book Thief and then be like, it wasn't as good as... Oh, what's a historical fiction I have on... A Curious Beginning. Yeah, I liked The Curious Beginning better than The Book Thief. It has nothing to do with one another other than they're both historical fictions, and one has a female grown adult being sexually promiscuous and going on adventure training all over. Another is a World War II survival story set in Germany. But yeah, they're both the same genre, so let's compare them, even though they have nothing to do with each other. Oh my god. I guess this is why I like Jacoby slightly better, but really both are sluggish and underwhelming. Did not finish at 50%. Oh, of course they didn't finish it. At least they got to the halfway mark. But you just finished comparing it to a book that is in no way correlated to it, and then said you didn't like either of them. What was the... Why would... I don't know who this person is, but I have questions about your reviewing. Actually quite angry about that review. Okay, and then there's My Lady Jane by Cynthia Ham, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I also know this is a comedy book, so comedy is very subjective as well. And it's difficult to come off in novel format. And also, I will say, too, that this book is really elevated by the audiobook. So if they only read the physical book, then fair enough. So the average rating of My Lady Jane on Goodreads is 4.10 at this point, with over 31,000 ratings and almost 8,000 reviews. So again, it's got lots of readership, and it was actually, I think, in the Owl Crate box. So quite a few subscription purchasers got it as well. Okay, I'm going to actually give a shout out to this human being, and I'm going to read it specifically because the way they started this review. Unlike most of the other one-star reviews, I did finish it. You, friend, get an automatic, like, extra point, okay? So you're already, like, 3 or 1, whatever, steps ahead of the last two, okay? I did finish it. It was hard, but I finished it. My Lady Jane has held a special place, Lady Jane has held a special place in my heart since the Carrie Ells. I know she's supposed to be the main character, but come on. I don't know what Carrie Ells is movie, circa 1985. Mind you, I wasn't born until 92. So, loving the movie clearly points to the fact that I'm cool with flubbing the details a bit. I wanted to love this book. I wanted to love it so much. My Lady Jane meets the Princess Bride. I don't know that I'd really combine those two. I think this one is more like upfront humor, and sarcastic, and the narration is where it shines through. I feel like The Princess Bride is more like satirical, and like it's funny too because of how bad like the effects and everything are. I love The Princess Bride, but like yeah. This is I think where I kind of take issue with of like the reviewer starts talking about like adults reading YA and how like this. I no. I think no. I don't like when we start doing this of like, well, if we write YA books for these adults, and adults at this age should start adapting. No, everyone's different at every different kind of age. And honestly, I still like unplug my mind. That's why I enjoy YA stuff. It's because it's simpler and there's a lot less like epic dramatic fantasies, and I feel like there's more characteristics to it than a lot of like adult literary fiction. When you admit that you read YA fiction, people give you the side eye. They think because it's because that's what you mean. There's a place for this type of fiction, but as an adult that reads YA, this is not the standard bearer. Okay, I don't understand what they're saying because as an adult that also reads YA. The word I keep coming back to here is twee. Just bad, bad, bad. No. Maybe if you're a 12-year-old girl who likes history, I would not have picked up on any of the symbolism as a 12-year-old. And I love Tudor history. But there are so many better choices. I'm literally baffled by the love for this book. Poor Jane, you deserved so much better still. Girl, she already got to survive now. She was done in real history, and we gave her a damn happily ever after. Also, this entire book is a giant metaphor for the religious standoff at the time period. I can't remember which. I'm really bad with English history now because I've switched to Russian history. But it's Protestant and Roman Catholic, right? That Henry VIII was Roman Catholic when he married Catherine, his brother's wife, and then he set aside in the Church of England so that he could divorce her and then marry Anne Boleyn. And then there was this weird flip-flopping back and forth because the daughter, Bloody Mary, was the queen. She was still Roman Catholic and very devoutly so people had to kind of switch back, but she was kind of crazy about it. But Elizabeth the Great was Anne Boleyn's daughter, so the Church of England, so switching back and forth. And then there was in between with her brother, and then the Jane Grey thing. She already got a way uplift in this, but I'm sorry. As an adult, I picked up on the fact that certain people of certain religions transformed into one animal and people of the other religion transformed into a different animal, okay? I would have not even remotely figured that out as a child or a teen, okay? This book is actually, with a lot of the symbolism, it's like Shrek, okay? When you watch Shrek as a child, you're like, oh my god, this is fantastic. When you watch Shrek as an adult, okay? You can't watch Shrek as an adult and be like, oh, this was not in any way made for parents. No. You wrong. You wrong. Shrek is filled with so many sexual innuendos and just oldie like references to like old classics that again meant nothing to me as a child. I kind of love this review. Now, again, annoying. It says DNF, but at least 60% of the way in. I couldn't do a DNF 60%. My god, was this book boring or what? There's transforming animals, friend. I mean, everyone likes it. Why does everyone like it? Nothing happens. Here's a rundown of the characters. Jane loves books, acts all pretentious and knowledgeable, but knows nothing. Pretty accurate. Gifford, please call him G. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this kind of does correlate to the Princess Bride quite a bit. Gifford, please call me G. Okay, I love that part. Edward, oh, I'm dying. I'm never going to kiss a girl. Oh, girl, I want to kiss her. Gracie, the English did this to me. Mary, the throne will be mine. Bessie, I'm going to help her brother. That's all they do and say over and over and over again. My god, how is that people? You missed the transforming animals, man! They transform more than like 60% of the way. That is like I love like the drawn backness of that review because it's pretty dead accurate for those characters. But so much actually happens with it. It's so much political maneuvering. And the metaphors, again, of the animal transformations based on certain religions that mirrored our current actual, like, history. And the transforming animals is so fun. And it's just, yeah, it does actually have a lot of connection to Princess Bride. Scrap what I said before. I was wrong. Okay, so I also wanted to do the book Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I love this series. I'm seeing more people reading it now, which is awesome. The average rating on Goodreads is 4.06. There's almost 7,000 ratings, and there's almost 1,200 reviews. So again, a pretty decent amount. Okay, from 2018. It's not a bad book, I just didn't like it. I will respect them for their honesty, okay? I hated the magic system. I hated the inequality of the classes. I hated the grinning women, know-it-all cowboy. I hated the old wise woman. I hated the core family. I hated the smartass trickster hero. Why? Who hurt you? Who hates that? I hated the sister. I hated the meaningful moments that were supposed to resonate with me, like with the cards. Well, that was specific. I hated the girlfriend and the squirrel thing. How dare you? Squirrel Cat is iconic in this series. And well, just about everything. In a nutshell, this book gave me hives. If it's your sort of read and your sort of characters, then it was reasonably well written and organized. I didn't spend much time paying attention to that because I was gritting my teeth too hard and just trying to power through the whole thing. Not my cup of tea, but it might be yours. Squirrel Cat, man, how dare you? I hated the grinning woman know-it-all cowboy. I hated the old wise woman. Old wise woman is used in like every book, man. I hated the core family. I think he means like the specific family. Okay. I hated the smartass trickster hero. Dude, you're wrong. I mean, just look at how popular, like, any like, I mean, he's kind of an anti-hero, but, like, Loki, Deadpool, all of those sarcastic smartass, they're, like, everyone loves them. I hated the sister. To be fair, I kind of hated her, too. I hated the meaningful moments that were supposed to resonate with me. I actually really loved that. I hated the girlfriend. Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to like her, though, to be totally honest. Yeah, I can't imagine what book she would like. That's a lot of stuff to not like. Okay, and lastly, I went with one that I know is going to have some interesting reviews. Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Jay Kristoff's stuff in general is pretty relatively well received, but people seem to have a difficulty with his formatting because he always seems to write in like different formats. Storm Dancer kind of aside, the Lotus Wars series. Nevernight has the footnotes, which really tends to throw people. And Illuminate is written in government documents and text messages and stuff. There's no traditional novel writing setup format. So I can understand why it throws people. As well as this book is a prime example of a book that was wrote and designed as a physical book to be complemented by an audiobook. They should go hand in hand, okay? Like you lose something by not listening along to the audiobook. And I find it really interesting that much thought went into this whole thing. So Illuminate on Goodreads has a pretty high rating. It has an average of 4.31 right now, and it has over 90,000 ratings and over 20,000 reviews. It's people who love it. Like, love it. It's also this prime example of, like, it seems like the series kind of came out of nowhere. It has dope hardcovers as well. And I feel like it really, like, catapulted the two authors into getting to do all of their other books. So it should be interesting what people think of the formatting. Oh, good. I picked one that has a meme already. Oh, boy. I'm going to end my suffering. This is, I'm going to assume they did, DNF at 43%. That's a very specific number. At least they were specified. Again, I don't think you should be rating books if there's less than 50%. Anyways, this is a great book to look at. Yes. The format is so visually appealing and each page brings something different. It's truly a work of art. See what I mean? They put a lot of effort into this. Its storytelling, however, sucks. Wow, you're wrong. Whew. It's dialogue heavy. What? I'm so confused by that. And comes with info dumps in the form of Wikipedia-like pages. Kind of, yeah. It's kind of, I honestly thought it was a strength of the book, actually, because it dumps all this information and then lets you, like, see the application of the information it just dumped. The romance is generic. Excuse me? Excuse me? No. There's a whole book is Katie and Ezra just split up when their planet gets, like, torpedoed, and they end up on different things and have to communicate while still kind of into each other. Well, not kind of. Still being into each other. And, oh my god, no, mind you, they only got to 43%! That's why! Girl! That's why! You didn't read at least a 50%. and actually had me rolling my eyes. Oh, I don't know what you want from all romance. Me, eye rolling romance, it's unnatural, honestly. I don't disagree with that. In the end, I had to look within myself and ask, do I give one shit about what's happening right now? What do I care about all, if they all got blasted into space and the human species ended? I'd be concerned if you don't find that concerning. That's okay. But if the answer is no, then I think that's, yeah, so DNF at 43%. Oh my god. Okay, seriously? Oh my god. Stop with the memes. Oh my god. The last one, okay? This book literally confused the hell out of me. I'm not kidding. Me neither, actually. It was a confusing book. About more than half of the time I spent with this book, I had simply no idea what was even going on. That's mostly due to the execution of its unique format. Again, gonna assume you didn't use the audiobook. Let me just say that at the beginning I thought this format would be something I absolutely loved, and I still think that at least its look is really nice. Yes, for sure. But this was mostly everything I liked about it, sad but true. Nearly every time where a new weird diagram, chat, or something else would be introduced, I was still wondering what happened before. It cuts you off as suspense to keep going. That's why they do that. They can't just give you the whole plot, because then you don't keep reading the book, friend. That's just, okay. Okay. Apart from the format, I also find it very difficult to sympathize with the two main characters. I don't think you're really supposed to sympathize with them all that much. I guess, yeah. Both of them, especially the girl, were these typical YA characters, which I'm honestly really tired of reading about. She's a YA STEM hacker. That's not all that common in YA even now in 2019, and you wrote this in 2017. So, alright, I don't know what books you read, but okay. At first they are just whiny and annoying teenagers who are mostly thinking about their broken relationship, even in a disastrous situation, and then suddenly they are the heroes of the story. Suddenly it's 600 pages, guy. I also just don't think the book gives enough information about their backstory, their relationship, to make me as a reader really care for it. I don't know what more you would really need from the characters' backpoint at this point. Like, there is more stuff that comes up in the future, but like, I don't, okay. However, I don't want to rant on and on, but I can honestly say that this book was not my cup of tea at all. Of course, that does not mean that it's not necessarily, it's bad for everyone. I actually know a lot of people here on Goodreads who love the book, which is perfectly okay, but I can't ignore the fact that I'm confused and annoyed more than entertain me. Fair enough. Okay, I'll give you that at the end. That was a decent explanation. I don't think Katie was, even today, years after it's been published, is a norm. To have women in STEM fields is still something actively have to search for, especially in hacking. That's why there was so much hype, I think, around Warcross, and I think it's Girl Gone Viral. It's up on my bookshelf there. I haven't read it yet, but that was why I was interested in it, was specifically girls with computers and software is very rare, so I'm not totally sure. Also, that her being sarcastic and quite blunt, and again, I don't think that's the norm. So I have to hardcore disagree with that there. But at least he put it in like a nice way. I've seen some people who are like, it sucks. Mind you, I say that and then I write like pretty scathing reviews when I'm like, this book is god awful. Who likes it? But yeah, I don't know how long this video is. I don't even want to know how long it's going to take me to edit this. But that was my attempt at reacting to 1-star reviews of my 5-star books. And I will link these books in the description down below. And have a wonderful day, I guess. Check out my social media down there as well. If you follow me, I will follow you back.